Alright, let's play a game. Name every player in NBA history to put up 55 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists in one game. I'll give you a second to think about it. Alright, ready? Well, if you said Nikola Jokic and Tony Snell, those would be two phenomenal guesses. Those were my guesses too. But unfortunately, it's just Nikola Jokic. Tony Snell should have got it. But unfortunately, it's just Nikola Jokic. Shout out to top 25 favorite player of mine of all time though, Tony Snell. But Nikola Jokic. If you watch this dude play on Christmas, you already know what he did. 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists. If you have one of these stats in a game, it's a sick game. But you get all three in the same game, we're talking goated territory. Actually, if you look at the games with the highest game score ever, it's the 7th best game ever. Well, first, let's figure out what the hell game score even is. Game score is a player evaluation metric which can be considered John Hollinger's simple and linear version of the player efficiency rating. You do a little quadratic formula, some Pythagorean theorem, and you end up with one of the best games in NBA history apparently. It's basically good stats raise your score, bad stats lower your score. So let's look at what the best games ever are. First, Michael Jordan, March 28th, 1990, versus the Cavs. MJ goes for 69 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, a block. He shoots 23 for 37 from the field, 21 for 23 from the free throw line. Holy free throw merchant. But the second best game ever. Luka, January 26th, 2024. Luka drops 73, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 25 for 33 from the field. Average Luka Doncic game. But the third best game ever, Kobe Bryant, January 22nd, 2006. You already know what this one is. 81 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 28 for 46 from the field. Probably up there with the most famous games ever. I've seen this game referenced in about 100 different songs. But then we got the fourth best game ever, 4 days before Luka's game actually. Joel Embiid, January 22nd, 2024. Wait, wasn't Kobe's game January 22nd too? We got the most obvious Wendell Carter ADPs coming up in a couple weeks. But that day, Embiid went for 70 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 24 for 41 from the field. But then, the fifth best game ever, Donovan Mitchell, January 2nd, 2023. 71 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. 22 for 34 from the field. Then the sixth best game ever, Karl Malone, January 27th, 1990. 61 points, 18 rebounds, 2 assists. And that was on 21 for 26 from the field. So yeah, 6 elite games. But that brings us to why we're here. Nikola Jokic, the other night on Christmas, statistically the 7th greatest game ever. Again, 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists, 15 for 21 from the field. The same game his teammate Jamal Murray went 12 for 32 by the way. You gotta think some of those 20 shots could have went to Jokic. But then, Jokic also shot 22 for 23 from the free throw line. If I'm gonna call MJ the merchant, I gotta do it to Jokic also. But Jokic also did go 4 for 6 from 3. So yeah, this was clearly one of the best games ever. If you watch that, it'll be pretty easy to tell that too. I saw a tweet that said, Nikola Jokic had more points than Max Brosmer had passing yards today. I don't know if that's a good thing for Jokic or a genuinely awful thing for Brosmer. Vikings, please get Justin Jefferson a quarterback. But I want to say a couple more things about this game last night. First, 18 points in overtime. That's how much Jokic had himself. The most points in an overtime ever. But second, Nikola Jokic now has a 20-point triple-double, a 30-point triple-double, a 50-point triple-double, and a 60-point triple-double, all against the Timberwolves. Timberwolves, how the hell are you letting this happen? Genuinely. Also, Rudy Gobert, what are you doing? Nikola Jokic now has a game of 61, 10, and 10 versus you. Then he gets 56, 16, and 15. Aren't you supposed to be a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year? This is that Brosmer thing we're talking about. I don't know if it's impressive Jokic is doing it, or genuinely Gobert just being Brosmer. But the last thing I want to say, after this game, is December 26th while I'm recording this. The NBA dropped their new MVP ladder, and right at this moment, Nikola Jokic is the favorite to win MVP this season. And honestly, I don't think people fully understand how crazy a fourth MVP would be. So here's what I want to do. First, we're going to break down Jokic's season he's having so far. Second, we're going to say what the fourth MVP would mean. Spoiler, he becomes the second greatest basketball player of all time after Raymond Felton. But third, we'll go through the other guys in the top 5 of the MVP ladder and see if there's any real chance they beat Jokic out in the MVP race. But before we do that, I do want to say I'm holding a poll right now. If you think Nikola Jokic is better than Michael Jordan, I need you to subscribe. But if you think Michael Jordan is better than Nikola Jokic, I need you to subscribe. Alright, honestly, there's no poll. Just subscribe. But in all seriousness, if you guys do want to see more content, please sub. It's the only thing that genuinely tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you so much. Anyways, let's get into the season that Jokic is having right now. Jokic, he's genuinely having one of the best seasons ever. But my great grandma could look at his numbers and see that though. 29.8 points, 12.1 rebounds, 11 assists, 60.9% from the field, and then he's shooting 44% from 3. Couldn't they just add that to the photo, making me do extra edits and shit? But look at points per game. The only players ahead of him, Luka, SGA, Maxey, Mitchell. Then you got Jokic sitting 5th. Looking at rebounds per game, the only players ahead of him, well, no one. But then, assists per game, again, no one. And this one isn't even close. This guy's averaging 1.6 assists more than anyone else. Also, shout out Jalen Johnson, man. What a leap that dude took. Face of the Hawks. Maybe. But then, field goal percentage. They didn't have that same graphic, so I had to change it up a little. Sorry, OCD people. But Jokic is 9th here. Gobert, Ayton, Mark Williams, Keita, Hartenstein, Giannis, Duran, Zubac, Jokic. So, he's taking shots, and he's making shots. And yes, I see Giannis here. He's good at basketball too, don't worry. But this is a Jokic video. I'll talk about Giannis in a Giannis video. Then I'm going to talk about Najee Marshall in a Najee Marshall video. How is this guy shooting 16th best in the entire NBA? He's like 6'5" on a good day. Crazy. But Jokic, points, rebounds, assist, field goal percentage, 5th, 1st, 9th. All numbers that's pointing to another MVP season, especially with the Nuggets at 22-8 right now, seems very possible. But let's say Jokic does win another MVP this season, number 4 in his collection. Right now, in NBA history, there's 9 players who have won 3 or more MVPs. 9. Let's just look up a random NBA best player of all time list. May as well click on the first one, Hoops Hype. Bro, why the hell is the entire screen an ad? Guys, if you didn't know, Linukit reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. And in case you didn't see it here on the right, it says it 38 more times. Get that bag, Hoops Hype. I respect it. But anyways, let's look back at this MVP list. The guy's currently with 3 MVPs. Jokic, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Moses Malone. Hoops Hype. Where do they have these players? Nikola Jokic, 23rd greatest player of all time. Larry Bird, 7th all-time best player. And I deadass can't get rid of these ads on the website. So if you need an American Express card, hit me up. But Magic Johnson, 4th all-time. And Moses Malone, 16th all-time. So the 4 3-time MVPs, 23rd, 7th, 4th, 16th. But then we got the 2 4-time MVPs, LeBron and Wilt Chamberlain. LeBron, they have 1 on here, and Wilt Chamberlain, they have Wilt at 6. Oh yeah, and by the way, I made a video where I interviewed someone who played in Wilt's 100-point game to find out if it's actually true. You know, if you guys want to see that, just sub, I'm gonna post when this channel starts picking back up. But yeah, the two 4-time MVPs, who Jokic would be tying, they have them at 1 and 6 overall. The two 5-time MVPs, MJ and Bill Russell, MJ they got at number 2, might be a little controversial. Let me know if you guys think MJ or Reggie Evans is the real number 1. But then they got Bill Russell. They got him at number 5. So they got the two 5-time MVPs at 2 and 5. The two guys Jokic will be 1 MVP behind. But then we got the one guy with the most MVPs ever, 6, Kareem. He sits here at 3, the same place every single list has Kareem. I don't care who the list was written by. Could literally be written by Kareem himself. That shit would still have Kareem at 3. But let's just go back a little bit to our MVP all-time leaders. Kareem, they had him at 3. Jordan was 2. Bill Russell, 5. LeBron, he was 1. Will Chamberlain, they had him at 6. Jokic, up at 23. Larry Bird, he was 7. Magic Johnson, 4th. And Moses, this guy, he was 16th. The two outliers here are obvious. If you pass 2nd grade, you see the outliers are Jokic and Moses Malone. But let's do something real quick. Jokic, they have him at 23rd all time. Let's see what the other guys average at. Hey Siri, what's 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 6 plus 7 plus 4 plus 16 divided by 8? Damn. Alright, well the answer is 5.5. All these guys that won 3 or more MVPs average as the 5.5th best player ever. And you know what? Let's just say Jokic wins MVP this year. Knock off Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Moses Malone because he'll be passing all them. Then we got the 23rd best player ever, and these other guys that average as the 3.4th best player ever. Makes no sense. Now, if you want to put championships into this equation, it gets a little more sense making, I guess is the word. But Kareem, 6 championships. MJ, also 6. Bill Russell, 600. LeBron, 4. But Wilt, he's the lone man out here. He's only got 2 rings. But Jokic also does only have 1 ring, so he would be the lowest here. So I guess you can keep that argument if you're a Jokic hater. But I'll tell you, he's for damn sure higher than 23rd highest all time. Hoops hype, you gotta redo this list, my guy. But we're talking, yes, me and you, we're talking like Jokic already won the MVP this season. And well, did he? So let's go back to the list. The NBA's new MVP ladder. Let's look at the top 5 of the list. Do any of these guys have a real chance to win MVP? Number 5, it was Cade Cunningham. Now don't get me wrong, Cade is having an insane season. The guy's averaging 26, 6, and 9 on 45% from the field. He took a huge step. The Detroit Pistons are 1st in the Eastern Conference. Imagine going back 2 years and telling someone the Pistons would be the 1 seed in 2 years. I'd probably be punched in the face on sight. But Cade is balling, no doubt. He's their best player by far. But is Cade Cunningham going to win MVP? Probably not. But back to the list. At number 4, they had Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson happens to be really good at the sport of basketball, if you have not realized it. Did anyone watch this guy on Christmas? He's like a 4-foot tall guard, and he scored like 90 points in the 4th quarter to beat the Cavs when they were down like 90. Shout out Tyler Kolek too. Why is he not on this MVP list? But Brunson just gets better every season. I don't really get it. He's averaging 29, 3, and 7. He's also doing it on 48% from the field. The Knicks are also really good too. Probably the best team in the East along with the Pistons. But again, is Jalen Brunson going to win MVP? Again, probably not. 3 is where the MVP list might take a little step up, depending on who you ask really. At number 3, they put Luka Doncic. The Mavs have been really solid this season with Luka. They're definitely contenders to go back to the finals. Wait, what do you mean they traded Luka for a 47-year-old who's hurt for the 100th time? Alright, sorry to be annoying, Mavs fans. It's just one trade I still cannot understand to this day. And I know you guys can't either. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming him. But Luka's averaging 34, 9 and 9. The Lakers are low-key kinda solid though. If they finish as a top seed, there's no doubt Luka could win. But the road will be really tough. And that's really all because the top two guys in the race. And of course, to the list. That means number 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, last year's MVP. If this video was like 2 weeks ago, I think the NBA had SGA at number 1 on the list. But now the Thunder decided they don't like winning basketball games anymore, so Shai fell to number 2. But he's still been insane this season. He averages 32, 5 and 7 on 55% from the field. He's another guy that's sneakily climbing the all-time ranks so fast, people aren't really talking about it. But right now, while I'm making this, the Thunder lost 3 of their last 4, including to the Warriors, who actually lost to the Heat, who lost to the Raptors, who then lost to the Hornets. Wow. Congratulations to the NBA champion Charlotte Hornets. Well deserved. But in all seriousness, the Thunder, I don't know what's going on. They look like the best team ever to start the year. Then they've been losing a little, but I'm not really worried. But the people that should be hoping the Thunder lose are the Denver Nugget fans and the Nikola Jokic fans. Because if the Thunder don't finish with the best record ever, Jokic feels like the pretty clear-cut guy to win his 4th MVP. Both have played 30 games this season. Shai does have the lead with 2 more points per game. So if that's all that matters in your criteria is 2 points per game, you're just a huge 2 points per game matter kind of guy, then SGA is your MVP. But Jokic averages 7 more rebounds, as he should, center and point guard. But then he averages 4.5 more assists, which actually is a pretty big difference. They average virtually the same amount of steals and blocks, 0.1 difference combined. But Jokic averages 5% higher from the field, 1.5% higher from 3. SGA averages 4% higher from the line. And these two guys shoot 100 free throws a game each, so that is pretty important. But Jokic averages 7% higher effective field goal percentage, 4 points higher in box plus minus, and 1.2 higher with VORP. The classic stat, we all know what that means. But yeah, honestly, looking at it side by side, these are 2 elite players. You can make the case they're the 2 best players in the league, although Giannis does exist. But I think right this second, if you ask most people, they'll tell you the 2 best players in the NBA are Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And most places you check, they're going to tell you that these are the 2 players with the highest chance to win MVP. But let's look at this. These are Jokic's stats. We're going to cut out the 2 seasons he didn't win MVP. Shout out to Embiid and SGA, 2 future Hall of Famers. But we're not talking about them right now. Jokic. These are the stats the seasons he won MVP. If you look at this year, this is the highest amount of points he averaged in a season by a pretty solid margin, 2.7 points. The same as that SGA Jokic difference we were talking about before. The 2 point per game guys we were talking about, where you at? But then we could look at rebounds per game. Right now he's only averaging 12.1. I say only because in 2022 he averaged 13.8 rebounds per game. That brother was doing his best Dennis Rodman impression that season. But assist. This is the most he's averaged, also by a good amount. He's averaging 11 right now. Back in 2021, he averaged 8.3, and we thought that was crazy. That's literally an average Derek Queen game nowadays. But field goal percentage, again, the best compared to any of his MVP seasons. 60.9% right now. His next best is 58.3, twice. But the one that's really crazy is 3-point percentage. This guy's shooting 44% from 3 right now. And that might not sound that crazy until you realize he's shooting 5 threes a game. The most he shot before this was 3.9 back in 2022 when he shot 33% from deep. Why was he kind of ass that season? But if you want to get really into it, the eye test might tell you a little different. Don't get mad at me. I'm literally just the guy sitting here making this video reading random stats, but Jokic's defense ranks higher than 79% of players in the NBA. Now, if you ask a lot of NBA fans, they'll probably tell you that's closer to 7.9%, but that's where the stat has him at. You can be the judge here. Tell me if you think that stat's a little flawed or not, but a stat I do think kind of makes sense. Jokic, his on-off stats are higher than 99% of the NBA. His net rating is plus 11.9. What that means is every time he's on the court, the Nuggets outscored the team they're playing by 11.9 points for every 100 possessions. So yeah, I break it down for you. When Jokic is off the court, the Nuggets, they're ass. When he's on the court, the Nuggets, they're really good. And I'm not too sure how the rest of this NBA season is going to play out. For all I know, SGA could literally average 40 to end the season. The Thunder go in 45 straight games. And SGA is looking at back-to-back MVP and Finals MVP. Or maybe the Lakers heat up and Luka wins his first. Or maybe Jalen Brunson takes the Knicks to the promised land and wins the most underdog MVP in NBA history. Or maybe the Mavericks will have both these players on the team at the same time. Sorry, Mavs fans, again. But overall, I think if the season were to end right this second, I think we're looking at Nikola Jokic's 4th MVP and a major shift in the NBA GOAT list. Because every season, this guy just seems to get better and better. And eventually, he's going to be a lock-in place on these GOAT lists. And if you guys enjoyed this, I would genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. It's the only thing that really tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you for watching.